Well, in areas in this country where the government has proven itself either unable or unwilling to defend Negroes who are being brutalized by racists and bigots and white supremacists,
was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book.
I have a dream that one day down in Alabama with its vicious racists,
all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Oh, have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop at the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Yes, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption songs. All I ever,
that unearned suffering is redemptive.
redemption songs. These songs of freedom, songs of freedom.
I have a dream.
well, in areas in this country where the government has proven itself either unable or unwilling
Minutes after they took
to defend Negroes who are being brutalized by racists and bigots and white supremacists,
was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever have, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Ooh, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book.
I have a dream that one day down in Alabama with its vicious racists,
all I ever had. Redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Oh, have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop at the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Yes, some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had. Redemption songs. All I ever.
that unearned suffering is redemptive.
Redemption songs. These songs of freedom. Songs of freedom.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Yes, the music coming from none other than the brother Bob Marley, the late great Robert Nesta Marley, who died at the age of 36. Yes, and you know it's a big day in Jamaica, Emancipation Day. I had a very short notice on that. I wanted to really put something together for each and every one checking out the program. I want to thank my good friend Lorna, who reminded me it's Emancipation Day. I didn't remember. My mind was all focused on next Tuesday, which will be Independence Day. But Emancipation Day is a great day in Jamaica in terms of all the people who fought for our freedom. Yeah. I just started looking at something where it says in 1730, the first Maroon War in Jamaica involving Cudjoe, Nanny, and many other leaders from back in the days. Yes. And also Taku. Remember William Taku rebellion in Jamaica? A lot of people fought for the freedom of Jamaica. So Emancipation Day is a great day. It's a day to be remembered. And we have to appreciate some of the reggae Jamaican artists who they never leave that out in their songs. Not like some of the songs we're hearing now that does not pay homage to the people who fought fought. I mean, really fought for freedom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, it's not to be taken lightly. To be enslaved back in the days, and our foreparents went through all of this. So today we'll have some kind of freedom, momentum to be who we are and to do the things that we do these days. Wow. You just imagine if you go back in history and read up some of those things, you'll realize that we should be grateful to all those people when we hear about a Nani, Kojo, and all those people. Just don't take it lightly. If it was not for them, there would never be a us, so to speak. We would probably still be going through the same thing. And it was the same thing across the Caribbean. Yeah, because the other islands were suffering too. They had to be fighting like crazy, yes, for freedom. And while I was checking into that, didn't get a chance to go as deep as I wanted to, I came across this article that says, who killed Bob Marley? And just last night I mentioned that the man Dick Gregory did mention that also. And hopefully as we go along, as soon as I find a podium, a platform where I can deal with these historical events without being interrupted, we're really going to get into some things and we can learn from each other. Yeah, I'm not just here to share whatever I learn. You get a chance to share what you know with me and the rest of the audience who check us out from time to time. Now I'm trying to get some of the people on Facebook to come over here and check this out. But this says, who killed Bob Marley? Let's check this out.
Bob Marley was the most revolutionary music star the world has ever seen.
He was a political figure. He was a religious figure.
They said it was cancer that killed him. But not anymore. The strange conspiracy theory.
Bob Marley was a victim of the CIA's covert assassination program.
In the many years that I've studied conspiracy theories, I've heard many times that people are being assassinated by means of induced cancer.
Who killed Bob Marley? This is Strange Universe, the phenomenal daily news magazine. Now, Emmett Miller.
Bob Marley sure made some cool music, and he sure preached some fiery rhetoric. In his prime, he was more dangerous than Muhammad Ali, a pop star and a third world hero. He died before his time. They said it was cancer. But now the conspiracy theorists have risen again. Stephen Ivory follows the question. Who killed Bob Marley?
Bob Marley was the most powerful political black man alive in the 1970s.
He was more than the king of reggae. Bob Marley's music made him a walking political weapon. It also made him a marked man. It's on the record that Bob Marley survived one assassination attempt. But now, people are saying that his death from cancer was an assassination as well.
Bob Marley was in actuality a target of the Central Intelligence Agency because Bob Marley was at the forefront of a very broad-based social movement.
Bob Marley's music was about life and death. It was about politics. It was about spirituality. It was about overthrowing the pernicious system. So naturally, they wanted him dead.
In nearly a decade of my research in conspiracy theories, I've heard many times the theory that people are being assassinated by induced cancers.
To understand the strange circumstances of Bob Marley's death, we must go back to where his life began. To Trenchtown, the violent and politically charged ghetto in Kingston, Jamaica, where Bob Marley formed a singing group called the Wailers.
I mean, Bob's music was about life and death. It was about salvation and hope. That was Bob Marley.
Roger Steffens is one of the world's foremost authorities on Bob Marley.
He transcended popular music. He was a political figure. He was a religious figure. He is someone whose words have brought solace to folks all over the world.
Bob Marley was also a Rastafarian, a renegade philosophy that embraced the African leader Haile Selassie as a living god and marijuana as a sacrament. The combination of music, belief, his lion's mane of hair, and the ever-present smoke turned him into a living legend. But as his fame grew around the world, Bob Marley found political enemies at home. In December 1976, gunmen stormed into his house, shooting.
The CIA was vitally interested in everything he did. They kept files on him. It is fairly certain that they were behind the shooting attempt on his life in 1976.
Bob Marley survived. He got even bigger.
The assassination attempt on Bob's life on December 3rd, 76 catapulted Bob into a stratosphere of almost martyrdom. He went from being just a dreadlocked, ganja-smoking pop star into a mythic figure.
But it was a seemingly minor event that changed the course of Bob Marley's life. It happened while he was on tour in France during a pickup game of soccer. A player stepped on Bob Marley's toe. He was carried from the field, and a French doctor gave him an injection. Bob Marley was soon diagnosed with cancer of that toe, the cancer that would kill him. Some speculate that Bob Marley had been injected with cancer or something else that mimicked its effects.
So did the CIA kill Bob Marley? Well, I know they tried to. I think they wanted to see him dead.
Roger Steffens can't bring himself to believe it was a hit, but others can. Kidi Obi Awadu is known as the Conscious Rasta. For years, he's been distributing his writings and videos of conspiracy theories, including this one.
It seems to be without a shadow of a doubt that, yes, they had targeted Bob Marley for neutralization, and this would be a prime vehicle for doing that.
Jonathan Bankin is our conspiracy expert. He says the Marley theory is not unusual.
Jack Ruby, the killer of Lee Harvey Oswald, himself felt that he had been injected with cancer cells. William Casey, the director of the CIA, died of a brain tumor right in the middle of the Iran-Contra hearings.
The days in which Bob Marley's condition worsened are also shrouded in mystery. For a time, he checked into the same cancer clinic in Mexico, where actor Steve McQueen was treated. Later, he was flown to an experimental clinic in Germany, run by a man named Joseph Issels.
So what they did not know at the time was that Joseph Issels was an ex-Nazi SS doctor.
Bob Marley was treated with a controversial drug called CH-23. He then flew to Miami to visit his mother. He died shortly afterwards, on May 11, 1981. He was only 36. The theory that Bob Marley was the victim of a medical assassination might have died as well. But then, 6 years later, former whaler Peter Tosh was murdered during a robbery that many believe was another political assassination.
The public figures who stood against the system, people like Malcolm X, people like Peter Tosh, people like Bob Marley and Martin Luther King, represented the most visible threat to the status quo.
If you ask a doctor, he'll tell you it's not possible that Bob Marley was assassinated.
You can't transmit cancer via a shot, so it's highly, highly unlikely that Bob received cancer from a shot.
But if you ask one who's steeped in the conspiracy world, they'll tell you differently. Even Roger Steffens, the Bob Marley expert, admits that if somebody killed Bob Marley to quiet a political threat, they achieved their aim.
The biggest star in Bob's aftermath was Yellow Man, a salacious, foul-mouthed rapper. And that was the music they promoted in the aftermath of Bob's death, and we've never recovered from it since. So in effect, his death accomplished a great deal of what the CIA was trying to do, which was to prevent the music from being a political vehicle.
Bob's children carry on his musical tradition. There's Ziggy, Stephen, and most recently, Julian and Damien.
As they say, and you can figure out in your mind, who killed Bob Marley? Yes, a lot of people has come up with all kind of things, saying that his death was not just a natural thing where he had cancer and then he passed on, because of the message that he was spreading around the world, made the people who were in control, or who wants to control the world, who wants to control people, started feeling very uneasy. And the way it was being done, it's the way they work. As I mentioned last night, they don't come to you direct and do whatever they're doing. They do it in a roundabout way. You never hear Bob talk about black or white in his songs, and we know the reason. One of the reasons, I would think, because his mom is black and his father is white. But that was not only the situation with Bob Marley. He saw the need, okay, to share the songs that he shared. And it was accepted in that manner. People across the world who listen to Bob Marley, they are of all different ethnicity, not just black, not just white, okay, not just Chinese. It was about suffering, being oppressed, and that has no color. That has no color. So once Bob started doing his thing, writing his songs and sharing his music, a lot of people across the world was able to identify with what he was saying. And they felt the same oppression. Oh, yeah. So that's why they got attached to his music, his message that he shared throughout his life. And I might say so myself, I remember in those days, Bob Marley was out there singing songs about, baby, I love you, baby, I need you, oh, Diana, I mean, love songs while living in Trench Town. And that was not working for him. And it's not only just a change, I think, because it was not working for him. But while he was on the streets in Trench Town and he saw the poverty, he saw what people was going through, he started doing songs that had that message that they could identify with. Every day he get up, he's going down the street, a guy is approaching him. You can give me a thing, share something with me, you know? And the government was not doing anything for the people. And he just changed his whole outlook on life and started singing for the people. When he did songs like Simmer Down and songs as such, you know, Screwface Noah, Woofer Frightened, all those were songs he figured more or less it's just for his immediate surroundings, people just within the area where he lived. But it became internationally known because it's in every part of the world, there is a ghetto. Yeah? And then every part of the world, people are being oppressed. The government is standing up, walking on top of people, not giving people their fair justice. Peter Tosh talks about equal rights in every country. So people was able to identify with that, and it became an international thing. I don't think he even intended, or he never thought that this would be an international thing. So wherever Bob goes during his lifetime, the place was always crowded because they want to hear the message that he had to share with them, with the people. I read an article that said Bob flopped the Pope, where he was supposed to appear someplace, and the Pope was supposed to appear not at the same place, but within the same country or the same town, whatever. And nobody went to where the Pope was. Everybody went to where Bob Marley was. Ain't that something? So the saying is that Bob Marley flopped the Pope. Yeah, when you check it out. Because nobody wants to hear at that time, and I think even now, nobody wants to hear what the Pope is saying. Because the Pope is a part of the political organization where he's just put out there to make the people feel, feel okay. But what are you doing physically? Do you know my pain? That's why that song, as a matter of fact, I'm going to play it right now, coming from the Meditations, where they says, the ghetto is a college. Yeah, something like that. The ghetto, you have to be in the ghetto to really know what's going on. Yes, ghetto is a college. You have to be there. You have to share. I mean, a lot of people who have never been hungry, have never been in a situation where they suffer, to know what life is all about. As they say in Jamaica, where you had to take your hand and make fashion, meaning that you have to, especially a mom who's a single mom and she got her children, the children is in the house crying, "Oh, mommy, I'm hungry." So mommy have to take a little saltfish that she had, a little this that she had, put it together, okay, and feed the children. She can't stay there and watch her children suffer, die of hunger. So the ghetto is the place where they say you have to live it to know it. And this song says the ghetto is a college where you learn things.
Hey, Mr. Legislator, have you ever been into a ghetto yet? Hey, Mr. Legislator, have you ever been into a ghetto yet? Where you got to build your whole little shack to rest your head. Yeah, you and your wife and 6 children up on one day. Yeah, we say, it's like Trenchtown ghetto, it's like a Waterhouse ghetto, Warwick Hill, baby Brooklyn and the Bronx. Yeah, we say, every ghetto is a college, where we learn all our knowledge. The ghetto is a college, where we learn all our knowledge. We learn of love and we learn to fight. We learn of patience and we learn of faith. There's nothing under the sun that we don't already know. Yeah. We learn of survival. We learn of survival. Down in the ghetto, where we come from, them say, it's like a Trenchtown ghetto, it's like a Waterhouse ghetto, the Brixton ghetto, say the Brooklyn and the Bronx. The ghetto is a college, where we learn all our knowledge. Yeah. legislator, have you ever been into a ghetto? Yeah. Hey, Mr. Legislator, have you ever been into a ghetto? Yeah. Well, you got to build your whole little shack to rest your head. You know, you, your wife, and 6 children up on one day. You say, ghetto like trench town ghetto, ghetto like a waterhouse ghetto. Warwick Hill, I say the Brooklyn and the Bronx. Say the ghetto is a college, where we learn all our knowledge. The ghetto is a college.
Yes, the ghetto is a college where we learn all our knowledge. It's like a trench down ghetto, a Warwick Hill ghetto. We spoke about Warwick Hill last night. It's like the ghetto in Brooklyn. It's like the ghetto in the Bronx. Yes, we have to survive.
Anything we try to do, we always get a fight.
Always get a fight when you try to do something to survive.
We learn a patience and we learn a faith. There's nothing under the sun that we don't already know. Them say, ghetto like trench town ghetto, ghetto like a waterhouse ghetto. Warwick Hill, yeah, and the Brooklyn and the Bronx. The ghetto is a college where we learn all our knowledge. The ghetto is a college.
Yes, the ghetto is a college where we learn all our knowledge so we can go out in the world and apply what we have learned. Yes, to survive. That's what it's all about. Yes, the ghetto is a college. More music from the Mighty Meditations and Turn Me Loose. Oh, yes.
So I'll take you, Mr. Set me free. Turn me loose. Let me go round the blues. I said, turn me loose. Let me go jump the blues. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's been a long time. You bound me down. While you and your followers having all the fun. Well, my turn has come, and I've got to have my fun. Oh, turn me loose. Let me go round the blues. I wanna jump, jump, get the music. Turn me loose. Let me go jump the blues. Ooh, yeah. I say you hear what I say. Jam your weakness of all you've done. My old mother feel the pain down in slavery. My old man got no whip whenever he tried to make her run. Now my turn has come, and I won't let no one stop me. Oh, turn me loose. Let me go round the blues.
Yes. And the Mighty Meditations and Turn Me Loose.
Turn me loose.
And there's some people who can't take the pressure, so they turn to everything that's negative. And that's what the Babylon system wants you to do. When you're under pressure, you start stealing, you start robbing. Yeah, same thing basically. And then you start turning on your own people. Those are the ones that you're stealing from. Those are the ones who you're hurting. Not realizing that the Babylon system, that's what they want you to do. We say they're trapped.
Alright.
with the Babylon system. Babylon trapped them. That's reggae music with a message. With yours truly, Clive Hudson.
Children don't care for vanity. Oh yeah. He's got love for humanity. But a whole lot of them in sheep loading. Oh yes. Are trying to mix the children's in. The mark of the beast is on your forehead, yes, an evil prince upon your face. Oh, it's a big disgrace, yes. How they are marching up the place. It's Babylon trap them. Yes, Babylon trap them. The old book tell you about them. Oh yes. And this is what it says. They are the generation of vipers, who knows? Yeah. And they just can't be blamed. 'Cause Babylon trapped them, my brethren. Babylon trapped them. It's true, yes. No lie about it. Ooh.
Yes, Babylon trapped them. Yes, have them in his region, having them do everything that's negative. You can call them a wild wolf in sheep clothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And dig my soul. Too much wagonist, too much antagonist. Wolves and leopards are trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd. Yes. Wolves and leopards are trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd. Yeah. Too much informers, too much steel bearers, too much informers, too much steel bearers. Time to separate the sheep from the wolves. We're at the crossroads, and this is the time of decision. Too much informers, too much steel bearers, too much informers, too much steel bearers. Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Too much watch and peep. It's time the wolves them leave the sheep. Too much watch and peep. It's time the wolves them leave the sheep. Wolves and leopards are trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd. Wolves and leopards are trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd. Oh, yeah. Too much informers, too much steel bearers. Wolves and leopards are trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd. Wolves and leopards are trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd. yeah. Too much watch and feed. It's time the wolves them leave the sheep. Too much watch and feed. It's time the wolves them leave the sheep. Lion,
Yeah, the music coming from the man Dennis Brown. Yes, another brother who left us too soon. Yes, those brothers would still be giving us some great songs, but for the time that they were here, oh, they made a worthwhile contribution with some good songs that will stay with us forever. Yes, talking about the man Dennis Brown. Too numerous to mention. Dennis Brown, we have Garnet Silk, you know. All right, there's a brother, I want to share some music with you right now. There's a brother, each time I see him on Winfred Williams' show, he's explaining to Winfred Williams that nobody is playing his music. And, you know, I'm saying that we can understand, because if that's, this is the way the people on the radio is doing. If it's not something that's trending, so to speak, if it's not a music dealing with something that's trending, like, you know, the latest dance and the latest, people are not into that. People want to hear that kind of thing, the dance, the this, the that, that's trending. But for a guy like me, and I know there's a lot of people like me, yeah, who we want a message. We want something that we can work with. Anyway, this brother is like a Luciano, like some of those kind of artists who got messages. Name is Bushman, okay? And I want to share something with you with coming from the brother Bushman. A name like that, Bushman, but you know, his message is great, and he got a great voice. I don't want to pass him over. Let me make sure that I find, okay, there's one here with Bushman, but that's not the one I really wanted to play. Bushman is a great artist, you know, and I can understand he becomes, it seems, I mean, I don't know the guy, but it seems like he's getting frustrated. I'm sharing all these songs and people are not gravitating towards it, you know. But that's the way the business is, my friend. Let's check this out.
We have somebody I'm here tuning right now. When I said St. Thomas, you tune to Rich Release on Earth 96 FM. Right now, we're about to feature a brand new Bushman. That song here, it a gonna lock the world. That new single here, it name How You Living. St. Thomas, listen now.
Hey, yo, people. A lot of questions to ask. A lot of questions to answer. You see what I'm saying? Oh, yes, it's crazy out there. Who got kids having babies out there? Who got, tell me if you're feeling no gravity in this impoverished society. Double standard without no equity. Repercussions in a triple tragedy now. So I want you tell me how you're living. I want the people tell me how you're living it now. People tell me how you're living. And tell me if you're happy how you're living it now. Whoa, ain't no betterment under this your crocodile government. You no see the dollars, them no make no sense. Minimum wage just can't pay me rent no. So the people tell me how you living, and tell me if you happy how you living it now. People tell me how you living. Americans tell me how you living it now. A lot of parents no care how the youths them flex. Many never supervise on the way they dress. Young teenagers exposed to sex without proper supervision and a consummate. I want the people tell me how you living. Americans tell me how you living it now. People tell me how you living. Europeans tell me how you living it now. Yo, yo, it's too crazy out there. Oh God, too much man lazy out there. Oh boy, oh God, hey. I want the taxi driver them to live it up. All the preachers and the pastors them to live it up. The police and the teachers them to live it up. The dance and politicians, I want you live it up. Give the juvenile them space and make them grow up. Give them the tools, send them to school, cause knowledge can't be too much. Opportunity the youths can't get enough. And the lifestyle is so unscrupulous. How the youths them get so much big guns to bust it up. And the crime rate keep on rising up. New rules and new styles, you fi pick it up, yo. I want the people tell me how you living. Jamaicans tell me how you living it now. Americans tell me how you living, yeah. Europeans tell me
tell me how you living. Yes, the brother Bushman. Here comes Luciano. Born to be a messenger.
Messenger to teach you about roots and culture. I tell them how to remember that. That's all I am dealing with. I am. Well, they say I am a messenger to teach you about roots and culture. I tell them how to remember that. That's all I am dealing with. I am. See ya, some man a sing bout how them boss love bout. Them forget that and put them woman up front. There's a time and a place for everything. Wow, see them a talk about how them fire them gun and a talk about how them boss got lame. But I don't have no time to mingle and sing. Cause what I said I have a messenger to teach you about roots and culture. I tell the mass if you remember that. That's all I am doing with I am. Yes, just say I am a messenger to teach you about roots and culture. I tell the mass if you remember that. That's all I am doing with I am. Remember how just sent Jonah and Elijah, Moses and Noah, Martin Luther King and Marcus too. Well, they never falter. Them and they do them works and they move on. So I know they have been learned. I and I must carry on the words. Wow, just say I have a messenger to teach you about roots and culture. I tell them how to remember that. That's all I am doing with I am.
The music coming from Luciano. Jaja Senai to teach the youths about roots and culture.
Na 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 no. Na na.
New artists on the scene.
Na 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 na.
Love yourself first. Not in a selfish way, but
I tell you, some people wicked. Them will check you, tell your lies just we keep you coming. So now lose it, them care. I got them by your side, cause when you got times appear, when you see them go missing. When I tell you, some people are crocodile. Them artists support them, could they live in the wild. A lot of times they think them real, because them smiling at your face until they said them know how you feel. But I know everything good best skin teeth. Some of them would have tear through your skin like a piece of meat. I'm if I tell you about the hypocrite, them sit down, night and laugh for them, pretend to be your friend. Love yourself first, no matter what them say. Love yourself first. Tell everyone myself you love yourself first. Until the day you end up in a hearse, I've got to love myself first. No matter what them say, me love myself first. Me tell them when me I go love myself first. Until the day me end up in a hearse.
We alone roam the streets. I'm tired of my heart to weep. Seems like it's never ending. Tired of the looters and the pretending. Why people have to be so cruel? Them twist it up, them tell you lie, take you for fool. Then bad feelings fall upon you, and I'm no fool. So believe me when I say, my have to walk, my have to try, my have to pray. No more lies, no games, now play. So don't come my way, I have to love yourself first. I that me say you have to love yourself first. And then where you have to love yourself first. Before your life would end up in the earth, I've got to love myself first. I that me say I gotta love myself first. But tell them grandma I gotta love myself first. Until the day I end up in the earth.
Yes, gotta love myself first till the day I end up in a hearse. Another new artist on the scene known as Reggae King.
Things are changing, things are changing. I'm stuck hard, I'm still the same. I'm not a change man. Tell them I'm the same one. Hey, me get that dream last night and the dream tell me things are change. A long time and I suffer and I know things still are the same. But just why I have feared for me. When me touch the road, I pray for me. But just I stay focused every day, come me know the end. See the change and I never that to see. Them used to laugh and real sing, now them a fan of me. When I no patience, me aiming for victory. They say the fans and the team motivate me. Them say low badness and sing song, you know. You can't play fool me all the way, oh. Look up tonight and you will see me glow. On King me at the start of him show. Me get that dream last night and the dream tell me things all change. A long time and I suffer and I know things still are the same. But just why I have feared for me. When me touch the road, I pray for me. But just I stay focused every day, come me know the end. Hey, man, I go harder, me get smarter. Me heart full of rage and I the streets to blame. My life I change now, me done with jail loss. R.I.P. to my friend and my dad. Can't believe if me a cry, me no feel hurt. I just tears of joy, cause me really sick of the world. Me touch it state and a firebird. I'm still a bird. See the change, cause things are change. Me say things are gonna change, and my songs are gonna.
Yes, Reggae King, and things are gonna change himself. Yes. Watch a lot of his friends die because of the gun and all that. But he feel like things is gonna change. Another brother says, never give up, never lose hope. He goes by the name of Alkaline.
Keep on, press. Push forward, never let the wicked get you down. Gotta make a step. Keep on stepping. Some other time that we get caught up in the moment. So overwhelmed of the drive, but I don't know where I am going. So I hold my head and I cry, I don't want to. Tell myself, oh, I can't do. But remember, you must never lose. My purpose in life. Open up your eyes. Analyze and realize, say you got your powers inside. Stand sturdy on the journey, can we live it and we learn it. The victory sweet when you know the battle was a furnace one. Light a fire and corruption make we burn it. Them can't stop when I feel. Hey, the road rocky never says I'll sweet. Would have quit already if me halfway. You can last, dark times like a pass. Never listen to them when them say you can't do it. Reminder it's good to be humble and it's good to be bold. Stay true to who you are because it's good for the soul. Them never really want to make it if truth to be told. But Jah have a plan for you. Aye. Have a purpose in your life. Open up your eyes. Analyze and realize, say you got your powers inside. Stand sturdy on the journey, can we live it and we learn it. The victory sweet when you know the battle was a furnace one. Light a fire and corruption make we burn it. Them can't stop when you feel. Them try to keep we down, one day we have a try. Not me more.
Hey, I like that one. Coming from a brother known as Alkaline. Alkaline, yeah. Coming a long way and he's still sounding good. How about this brother? Like this one. This is very popular in Jamaica. It's done up by a brother by the name of Munga Honorable. And the name of his song is Nah Mad Over No Gal. I wouldn't say woman. I'm saying Nah Mad Over No Gal. Let's check this out. Munga General.
I wanna know. I wanna know. Selassie, me no wanna get a pressure me as me wake. Like how my real up get a headache. Better if you give me a break. Cause a boy like me no mad. No. Me no mad over no girl. Cause a boy like we no mad. No. We no mad over no girl. Coulda pretty like Dolly and spend enough money. No. We no mad over no girl. Coulda cute like Dolly and we no box money. No. We no mad over no girl. Ricky Ross, you know me soon as some energy up. It's a ice and liquor chaser, you know me Hennessy cup. Couple girls and couple taxes make the energy buck. So me no wanna run for make the energy bro. From get me up. Give me ready to cut. Cause some of them girls never know how much the energy was. When so much roll up on the line, I said them ready to up. You can't break my confidence. All these lies is just pretense. Fuck, girl, blame me cause this is incompetent. If you wanna leave, then jump the fence. You must face the consequence. Let's just call it self-defense. You can cause a boy like me no mad. No, me no mad over no girl. Cause a boy like we no mad. No, we no mad over no girl. Coulda pretty like Dolly and spend enough money. No, we no mad over no girl. Coulda cute like Dolly and we no box money. No, we no mad over no girl. Mad over no girl. My daddy say, as one gone, one born. Like Addy say, mad over her, then end up in a bar, then walk out in a car. Me no join in the police. Stress over girl, me nah do them something there. Me rub me be like Westlight, tell Robbie say. Jumping on my car, drive her like the cabbie say. Tell her, same thing with me, tell Bobby say. You can't break my confidence. All these lies is just pretense. You girl, blame me cause that's just your incompetence. If you wanna leave, then jump the fence. You must face the consequence. Let's just call it self-defense. You can cause a boy like me no mad. No, me no mad over no girl. Cause a boy like we no mad. No, we no mad over no girl. Coulda pretty like Dolly and spend enough money. No, we no mad over no girl. Coulda cute like Dolly and we no box money. No, we no mad over no girl. We no fi run on girl, I coulda miss world. We no mad over no girl. Coulda straight a curl like pearl.
Nah mad over no girl, him say. That's what him say now. Brother came on the other day crying. I mean, this big man, over 200 pounds, very muscular, crying tears, left his wife and go marry his side chick. Now the side chick live up to her name, a side chick. She can't take the married life. She run and leave him. I'm crying and asking everybody on Facebook, what do you think I should do? They gave him good words of advice. Go kill yourself.
That's why my energy up. From the day me left the boy and drink the Hennessy enough. Like when I shine, I left you no see foot a lift up. Living at the barber shop, I him like it a put up. When me left a boy, him can't get back me. Coulda scatter and I promise all me. And everyone me there, me tie for me so. Oh, me there with him so we keep on my send me fish up. A good, brought enough boy confident. Make him road like him, nah have no sense. Last boy me tell him nah get back me get by road, feel like half him oxygen. Boy, if he face that consequence. When him full of money like consequence. Just know how we left on a false pretense. When we left, boy, them a fi mad. Like when you need to Marlon. When we left, boy, them a fi mad. Good, when me a coulda mad like Abby. I make no doggy. From me so we stop, so we ma fi mad. And him in a Bugs Bunny, spend half him money. From me stop, from me ma fi mad. Boy, if he put me in a spotlight like Macase, or else me a go kill him with bone like Lacase. Hotter than the flame na the stove with the patase. Nothing touch pies away people a chatter say. And me at the street straight you know. Romisha go mad car Bailey a touch Shensia. Bellevue them soon send for ya. Boy better run fast and breathe case ya. Make it brought enough boy confident. Make him road like him nah have no sense. Last boy me tell him nah get back me get by road feel like half him oxygen. Boy if he face that consequence. When him full of money like consequence. Just move to me left.
Yeah, I tell you.
I said cheers up.
Girl, I said king top. Ice and chaser, come keep that drink up. The vibes right, I'm thugs, them hyper, we don't give a f***. Mr. Pot in the white and every girl a ball out photo. If you're not trouble, me not trouble you. Tell me, my vibes, I tell them we alright, we're leaving now, so the team will come. Got the crowd, you know, let me out. I never wanna try to figure me out. Them ask me fight, what you talking about? Just keep them all coming, I need a dog. Songs are go harder where them all go send up. The energy pure, what's up at the floor? Show that up the bookie and a 100 more. Let's the club dog, we're making no thoughts. We're fixing them all, tell them winning and all. One of the most exquisite around. Me young and defensive, was me not give a my bro. Great and clean on the dot. You cannot block out, you better come get out. Girl said king top, Ice and chaser, come keep that drink up. The vibes right, I'm thugs, them hyper, we don't give a Mr. Pot in the white and every girl a ball out photo. If you're not trouble, me not trouble you. Smoking good, I'm drinking good. Ask her if she good and she reply, yeah, your life feel good, I look hard right now. One time with the broke, now we can do what we want. Yeah, feeling it feel good enough. Excuse me, color.
It's reggae music for the new generation, so to speak. How about this one? I've been checking this out for a while. This is the pastor in church having a major problem. Yeah, I'll make sure I get this one in. Yes. Yeah, okay, make sure I get this one in. And this one is called Breast, Leg, and Thigh. The pastor is saying, for the woman coming into church, all he's seeing is pure breast, leg, and thigh, more than he sees in Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Dress moderately. Don't vex to this one. This never got no superman. Here you know. Some Christian lady a KFC slogan. Advertising I don't know why. Every time them come in at the church, come pray, them a show our breast, leg, and thigh. Me a see pure breast, leg, and thigh. Pure breast, leg, and thigh. Every time some come in at the church, come pray, them a show our breast, leg, and thigh. Me a see pure breast, leg, and thigh. Here, breast, leg, and tie, yo. Every time them come in at the church, come pray, them a show up, breast, leg, and tie. Yo, no man go a Linstead market, where every man come feel up. Who nobody's the temple of Jesus Christ, so no take care of it, cover up. Hey, we are breast here with the right size cup, so nothing don't jump out when you jump up. Me no say you skirt them if you pass your ankle, but if you at least pass your knee cup, I'm not sure. Here, breast, leg, and tie, cover up. Here, breast, leg, and tie. Every time someone come in at the church, come pray, them a show up breast, leg, and tie. Me a see. Here, breast, leg, and tie, cover up. Here, breast, leg, and tie. Every time they will come in at the church, come pray, them a show up breast, leg, and tie. Hey, if you don't save, that me understand. So you come as there, nothing no wrong. But when you get saved and become Christian, put away KFC slogan. Hey, who know if start wear decent clothes, certain party your band not supposed to expose. Breast, leg, and tie, them the thing no fi show. So when you come at church and be a 19 a flow, you drop on the ground, everything out the door. Hey, me have a strong feelings, you don't know. Anytime when you come at church and don't just put down, no love comes to the front. And I show. Beer, breast, leg, and tie. Cover up. Beer, breast, leg, and tie. Every time someone come in at the church, come pray, them a show up breast, leg, and tie. Me I tell you, beer, breast, leg, and tie. Look at beer, breast, leg, and tie. Every time someone come in at the church, come pray, them a show up breast, leg, and tie. No man now buy what they can get for free. So stop advertising for KFC. Church sisters, start just moderately. If you can't do that thing, they go down for your knee. Me like when skirt they below knee level. Anything too short, we start at top level. Since we fly down and pick your life, then we make the body get cross, hungry and miserable. Beer, breast, leg, and tie. Beer, breast, leg, and tie. Every time them a come in at the church, come pray, them a show up breast, leg, and tie. Me a say, beer, breast, leg, and tie. Beer, breast, leg, and tie. Every time them a come in at the church, come pray, them a show up breast, leg, and tie. When me say, beer, breast, leg, and tie.
Pure breast, leg, and tie.
Hey, if you don't save, that me understand. So you come as there, nothing no wrong. But when you get saved and become Christian, put away KFC slogan. Hey, who know if start wear decent clothes, certain party your band not supposed to expose. Breast, leg, and tie, them the thing no fi show. So when you come at church and be a 19 a flow, you drop on the ground, everything out the door. Hey, me have a strong feelings, you don't know. Anytime when you come at church and don't just put down, no love comes to the front row. And I show. Beer, breast, leg, and tie. Cover up. Beer, breast, leg, and tie. Every time someone come in at the church, come pray, them a show up breast, leg, and tie. Me I tell you, beer, breast, leg, and tie. Look at beer, breast, leg, and tie. Every time someone come in at the church, come pray, them a show up breast, leg, and tie. No man now buy what they can get for free. So stop advertising for KFC. Church sisters, start just moderately. If you can't do that thing, they go down for your knee. Me like when skirt they below knee level. Anything too short, we start at top level. Since we fly down and pick your life, then we make them get cross, hungry and miserable. Beer, breast, leg, and tie. Beer, breast, leg, and tie. Every time them a come in at the church, come pray, them a show up breast, leg, and tie. Me a say, beer, breast, leg, and tie.
Yes, pure breast, leg, and thigh. You know you're coming into the church, make sure you dress appropriately so that when the spirit hits you and you fall on the floor, at least you will still be covered up, so to speak. Yes, as you know, big day in Jamaica, Emancipation Day. And come next Tuesday, it will be festival time.
I love you, Jamaica. Hey, and Jamaica's made me proud to call this little island my home. Our people are great and so is our food. My heart is here no matter where I roam. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. We no want no negative data. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. We no want no negative data. Hey. Oh, I land in the sun from Negril Point to Morant Bay. Your beauty spreads across the land, calling us to a brighter day. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. We no want no negative data. love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. We no want no negative data. So rise, Jamaica, rise. Our nation must be restored. Rise, Jamaica, rise. We must again be adored. Coffee, banana, grapefruit, and pig. Curry goes 2 piece, run down and mommy. Coke and shaggy, Shelly and Nanny, Manly, Garvey, Marley promote me. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. We no want no negative data. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica. Me say me love Jamaica. We no want no negative data. Yeah, man. Island in the sun, you know. Out of many, we are one. If you love Jamaica, we have none. Yeah. I love Jamaica. Whoa, everybody. I need a big boots and a barefoot pants. Bigger dance is your festival. I need a sweet booty and a calico shirt. Bigger jumps is your festival. Jump in the line, shake your body line. Drink beer, drink gin, and drink up everything. I need a big boots and a barefoot pants. Bigger dance is your festival. I need a sweet booty and a calico shirt. Bigger jumps is your festival. I need a tourist and all the pretty girls come swing is your festival. I need a naughty dress and all the ballets come jump is your festival. Well, everybody come sing and dance with me. Whoa, everybody.
Hey, want to jump this here festival? Hey, don't forget next Tuesday, it's a big day in Jamaica. You know, a couple of people flying down for the event.
If you think you know every leaflet about festivity, please don't use time for your conscience from singing it merrily. Oh, just a tumble down. We got to build a new one. Oh, just a tumble down. We got to build a new one. Got to sing it out. Sing it all about. Got to sing it out. Every day you keep saying you couldn't tell it out, but you know have big pot. Figure boy no tell a cut, and you know have 2 boots. Figure climb up 11 step, or you know I know old house come tumble down by you. But if you tumble down, we got to build a new one. If you tumble down flat, we got to build a new one. Got to sing it out, sing it all about. Every day you keep saying you couldn't tell it out, but you know Jamaica, the land of beauty, at the place where me born and grow. We have a lot of lush green vegetation. Oh, what a blessed island. Golden sunrise, white sandy beaches are some of the treasures that we have. We are a loving, creative people. Nothing compares to my little island. Me tell you, say, no better than yard. It's a tropical vibes with the world, you're so nice. Jamaica, I'm my first choice. Me tell you, say, no better than yard. No matter what I rise, Jamaica be life. It's sweet like sugar and spice. Every year tourists take a flight down. Say them love off the reggae and the white rum. With pretty beaches make them want stay. So them are gonna secure citizenship right away. Out of many we are one people. Talent young enough the world can see too. Like Marley, Marcus, Veronica and Usain. Jamaica you done gonna lead. Me tell you say, no better than yard. This a tropical vibes with the world, yes so nice. Jamaica, I'm my first choice. Me tell you say, no better.
Yes, no better than yard.
No matter what I rise, Jamaica be life. It's sweet like sugar and spice.
Oh, like sugar and spice, he says. At the South of my island, Jamaica.
I mean, I'll let it please no one. My passport takes up by a whole land. Me know me have a travel again, but me no foreign minded. This on me island, me say it nice until have you ever go a little watchy and the grill? Just go keep back and chill, and order something up at the grill. Let me tell you what Jamaica you have for now. Land of food and broth and no tourist stuff to make a chip. As a maffigate a dip in a dip to do what she done. Give a water no. A comedians we kill you with laughter no. Good destination you don't have to ask for no. So me say come on every boy, come on every girl. Jamaica the best in the world. This happy me island. I mean now if you please no one. My passport takes up by a whole land. Me know me have go travel again, but me no foreign minded. This a me island, me say it nice until have you ever go a little watchy and the grill? Just go keep back and chill, and order something off of the grill. The tourists them love half the yellow, black and green. The yellow with the sun rising at the morning. The black of the hero, them will fight on the team, and the love me say it green. Yes, the green reggae music touch it work on all the earth. Reggae country done hear the tourists them a shout. This a little island make them free like a bird. Dogs when they feel love the hits they don't say a word. This a for me island. Come in and let me please no one. And my passport it's a fire whole land. Me know me a go travel again, but me no foreign minded. This a for me island. Me say it nice until have you ever go a little watchy and the grill? Just go keep back and chill, and order something off of the grill. Hey, Jamaica a real champion. How you know say we a real number one? And if not keeping in your foot or your hand, come a mineral bath and Clarinda. This a for me island. Come in and let me please no one. My passport gets a fire hole. Me know me have go travel again.
Yeah, the South of my island, I'm gonna leave. So please no one.
Yeah, can you hear that? Oh, can't you hear that? Let me hear you play.
Got about 4 minutes to go before we call it a night. Today's what? Thursday, so we come back tomorrow. Yeah. Hopefully we'll start a little bit early, 9 o'clock, so to speak. And I want to do it here on YouTube if they'll allow me. Just got to notify the Facebook people ahead of time that they know where I'm at. On Facebook, everybody jumps out. Once you get there, everybody jumps out. We're going to spread the word. If YouTube will allow me, get some of the people over here.
I don't trouble no man. What it do? Should trouble me again. Don't you bring a bam 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 bam. Oh yeah, can you hear that? Can you hear that? You know that I am the man who fights for the right, not for the wrong. Come together, let's down and talk. Really wait on murmur now. Soon you will find out the man I'm supposed to be. I don't trouble no man. But if you should trouble this man, it will bring a bam 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 bam. What a bam 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 bam. Can you hear that? Oh, can you hear that? Oh, can you hear that? Yeah. I am the man who fights for the right, not for the wrong. Come together, let's.
Adam Maytels taking us out with one called Bam Bam. You're welcome, Lorna. Yeah, to take us out is more music this time coming from the Jamaicans.
Everybody get ready. It's time to rock steady. It's ba-ba-boom time. Don't lose the beat now. Just dip your head now. It's festival, it's here. You hear the people sing, oh, oh, ba-ba-boom, boom, 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 festival, boom, boom, ba-ba-boom, boom, boom, festival.